Hi, I'm Jeremy and I live in Singapore and I started road cycling a few months back. So here are my experiences as well as some tips I have to offer if you're looking to start road cycling and buy your first bike. Alright, my first tip would be to do your homework. So before I went out and bought my first bike, I was online most of the time and contacting a lot of friends and basically trying to get as much info as I can. And what I realized was that there was no one source for a Singaporean who wanted to cycle. I mean, the best source I could find was togoparts.com, but in general there were bits of information here and there and a lot in American and UK contexts. So do your research, put in the time and effort. You want to know things like your size, which you can get on websites, and you also want to know the different kind of bikes and group sets and a lot of things that you'll learn and come up along with your research. And you'll also find other people just like you who are new and looking for answers as well. So this is where you really have to sit down, even before going out to the shops, and kind of just put in that time and effort. In addition to that, I didn't really want to be cycling alone, and I knew that cycling groups existed, so I went looking around, and you kind of just do a Google, and you can find cycling groups around your area. So I stay in the West, so I found a few groups in the West. You also can find groups in the East. It's best if you have friends that cycle as well. They really are your source for information, as well as when you finally buy a bike, you can go and cycle with them. Unfortunately, I don't have any close friends that cycle, but I did have a lot of friends or people that I met along the way that helped me in finally choosing my bike. So that's how I started off before actually moving off and going to the shops. Okay, so you've got all your information and you're finally leaving your house to go to the bike shops. My second tip for you would be invest the time. Invest the time to go to as many shops as possible and to really think about all the models that you see and to compare them to each other before actually deciding on your bike. So I stay in the West, so shops I went to were shops like Roda Link, at Trade Hub, at Jalan Jurong Kechil. I also went to Bike House, T3 Bicycles, Stay Junction, which are along Bukit Timah. And if you're interested in Trek, there are 3 technology outlets in Singapore. One is at Tanglin, one is at Yishun, and one is at Alexandra, which is Jalan Kilang Barat. So if you stay in the East, you can go to the Vertex building. There are like a few bicycle shops there, so that will help. So go to these shops, preferably go with a friend so you can get a second opinion. It'd be best if you can go with a friend who cycles. Unfortunately, I didn't have a friend that was willing to follow me, so I brought my girlfriend, but at least I got a second opinion because it really helps, when you want to discuss certain things that you might not be sure about. And also it's kind of like moral support. When you go to the shops, try and ask the salespeople as many questions as you can. I like to ask them a lot of questions, and generally I found them very friendly, nobody too nasty. And it's good that some of these salespeople, they themselves cycle, so they'll be able to give you kind of like their own opinion rather than what they're supposed to sell you and stuff like that. Alright, so you've gone to all the shops, you got a lot of bicycles, you've written down in your little notebook, and what do you do now? So, tip number 3 is weigh your options. So go through the different options, compare and contrast, look at the prices, and look for the best deal. Don't think about what the pros get, think about what will be good for you. The pros generally have their bikes changed regularly and they have people to service them, and they don't have to worry too much about that. But you are cycling by yourself, it's your own hobby, so you have to really think about maintenance and servicing for your own bike, so you want to factor all those things in. So I'm not particularly good at bike maintenance, but with enough effort you could find that information online about how to service your own bike and the tools you could buy fairly cheaply, or some are more expensive than the others. But again, buy those things online, those are cheaper. The general rule of thumb is that components are cheaper online, so my favorite site to check is Chain Reaction Cycles. They generally have free shipping every now and then, but you have to keep on the lookout. Subscribe to their newsletter, which is what I do, and really take advantage of their free shipping. I mean, you could buy simple things like lube, or you could go really high-end and buy wheels. But then again, you won't be able to see what you're buying, so you want to be really sure before you buy it. Now, when you're buying a bike, also think of old models. So my bike is a 2013 model, but I got it for about 50% off. So a lot of bike shops do that. They sell older models at a discounted price. If you're just starting out, you probably want to buy aluminium because it's able to take a crash, because chances are you'll crash for the first time like me. So aluminium bikes tend to take bumps better than carbon bikes. Carbon bikes are brittle, so you probably want to get aluminium because chances are you'd crash in your first time and you don't want to crash a carbon bike and feel a bit sad for the rest of the year. Don't give in to the package deals that the salespeople were trying to put together for you. When I went to a particular shop, He's trying to tell me like, oh, I give you bottle cage, and I give you pedal, and I give you this and this and this and add on, but that's not important because the bike was still the same. So if you don't like the bike, then don't bother with the rest, and just focus on the bike when you're considering your options, because you can buy the rest of the things on your own time. Alright, so because you're new, like I was, you may have found yourself paying more for something that you should have, like my shoes. So don't feel bad about it, just take it as a learning experience, and just make sure you do your research next time before you really commit to buying something, because cycling is a continuous cost. It's not going to be one-off. But with that said, if you're careful enough, you could save a lot of money. Alright, so those are my 3 tips. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any tips, questions, or if I've missed out anything, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please click the like button, and I may make a follow-up video about more tips regarding buying your first bike. Bye! Okay, can you just cut that about buying your first bike?